Guess who's back? Back again. Juljas back. Tell a friend.
Weird Intro Man is back to look at all of the skills these generals have to offer. Now listen, there are a lot of skills, and to get right off the bat, I'll assess them from worst to best. There are 20 skills. There's one skill I really can't assess, and that is the Artillery Expert. Increases stable output of combat effectiveness by 3% on artillery attack. What does that mean? If anybody can figure it out, please write a comment, explain this skill to me. I have no idea, I can't rank it right now. So, at rank 19, we have the, in my opinion, worst skill, and that is Sailor. Increased damage of army units by 20% when fighting in the sea. Now listen, this is for not Navy. For Navy that would be an amazing skill, don't get me wrong. But for infantry, cavalry and artillery, that's a horrible skill because you want to be fighting in water periods, so don't go boost that skill, it's so useless. At rank 18, there is a skill which I just personally don't really rate. It might be that some people really like it, but maneuver, chance to ignore the effect of barriers when using. You know, mostly units will even be on barriers, so I really don't see the benefit in this skill. I find it trash. Moving on swiftly, we have cover. In land operations, there's a 7% chance of reducing damage by 50%. There's a 7% or 50%. Too many percentages. I want clear-cut, always reliable skills. This is trash. Move on. Next trash skill, alert. Reduce damage by 10% when attacked from afar. Mostly will be attacked from afar, and if you're getting attacked from afar, it doesn't do that much damage. Useless skill. I need more reliable. Next. Next skill is, I kind of find it an interesting one, but here is again 50% lower the enemy's defense by 12%. It can last some amount of turns. If you buff this up fully, it's probably not even that absolutely useless. So I find it interesting, but still rank 15 there's better. A skill which I forgot to rank and I won't rank right now just because I'm too lazy to do it again is Rage. Increased chance by critical strike by 5%. Damage 5% when HP is below 50. I guess I'd rank it like at mid tier because it only gets good when you're pretty weak and you want to keep your generals at high health, but seems interesting. Another skill I didn't see, I'm blind. 10% chance to counterattack the enemy twice when being attacked. I guess that would be pretty high up. I'd probably rank it in the top 10-ish positions. But at rank 14, ambush, 4% chance or some percent chance to avoid enemy's attack when commanding infantry. I mean, it's kind of interesting. You can avoid the full amount of attack, but there's only a very low chance. But if you max it up, it's maybe not even that useless. At rank 13 of the best skills, we have Inspiration. There is a certain chance that morale rises, and that's pretty useful, just especially if you get surrounded, and just having high morale usually is not bad, which doesn't decrease, or it increases your attack and doesn't let your attack be decreased. Pretty useful. Rank 12, surprise attack, Fodder cavalry moves, the more damage it makes. It does only give a very slight increase, so it's useful but not crazy good. Next one, which is again a new skill, is Pierce. There's a 30% or X% chance to ignore the enemy's defense by some amount when attacking. So if this ranks up fully, I can feel it's already kind of interesting. You can really, I guess the chance will go up to like 50%. And you can decrease the enemy's defense really high. It's almost like just attacking more, which I find pretty interesting, Mr. Sheridan. And you get him for free. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are entering the top 10. In the top 10 we have the tunnel or storm fortification skills, which is extra damage when attacking cities. For artillery I find it pretty useful, that's why I rank it so high, since artilleries are supposed to really destroy cities. For infantries and cavalries it's not that great, but for navies as well, I forgot that. Navies and artillery, it's really good skill to have. Maybe a little surprising to some of you, but at rank 9 we have the formation master, or just all kind of master skills, which gives you a % chance of critting, which is usually pretty nice since you give a good amount of damage, but the chances only go till 10%, which is pretty low. So I'd advise you to go for better skills if possible. And at rank 8 we have the last percentage skill as far as I can tell, that is the Dogfight. There's a chance to freeze the enemy when attacking. It lasts for X amount of rounds. If you upgrade this to full, it might probably freeze an enemy for 2 rounds and have a good % of chance for it. That's actually quite a sick skill, to be honest. The only thing is it's not really on a lot of high level generals, but freezing enemies and then all your allies can just attack the guy seems pretty useful, but it's not consistent enough to make it higher up for me. And at rank 7, now we're entering the really useful skills in my opinion. We have counterattack. It gives additional damage when fighting back. This can go up to 25 And if you get attacked, your general just might become a monster. Especially if you somehow can combine it with the double attacking back counter thingy. I'm not sure there's a general who does that, but if that exists, it's insane. You'll become a real counter god. Put that in artillery, and yeah, unstoppable. Skill which I personally like quite a bit is at rank 6, and that is Tactic Master. Chance of attacking a second time, I think it goes up to 20%. Okay, it's again a percent skill, I'm sorry I forgot that, but this skill is really useful, especially if you have an artillery or a cavalry. You can attack twice. Artillery hits twice, takes no damage. Cavalry can possibly kill a unit and then go on, because it can attack further. So this skill, I find it super useful. Now we're entering the top 5, the most reliable good skills in my opinion. And Intercept or Edge, or however it's called, because those are different names for different kinds of, unit styles. That is Intercept. It gives 10 additional damage when attacking cavalry or infantry. I think it only exists for infantry and cavalry, but it just does reliable damage. Always, it makes infantry generals, it makes real cavalry killers, and cavalries, it makes real infantry killers. If you add these skills, you just have to know how to attack, and it will be super reliable, that skill. And at rank 4, we have a totally new skill, which I find very hard to rate, to be honest, but I feel like it can be extremely powerful. That is Defensive Formation. It increases army defense in their nearby grids by a certain amount. So I think maximum can go up to like 2-3 grids and maybe do like 20 defense. And 20 defense higher is a very big buff. It's almost the same if you increase attack. Only thing is it's a bit nerfed by not being able to stack it, because if you do that, you can have like 3 of those generals around and your units don't take damage. But still, if you have like a survivability thing, or also for conquest, this seems pretty useful also for campaigns. More conquest, since you have to have longevity on units. And I really think this potentially even could be stronger. It's just kind of hard to rate right now. Now obviously you boys and girls know that Juljas always loves his terrain skills. So at rank 3 we have the terrain skills, like for example jungle fighting or mountain fighting, or there are 5 kinds of things. There's mountain, forest. Let's look at the map quickly just to also show you this. So if you look at the terrain, we have mountains, forests, plains, cities are also a kind of style, and deserts. Now deserts usually are pretty useless, since you only can use them in like very specific areas of the map or in the south. In the other hand side, mountains and forests and plains are everywhere. Cities are everywhere. These skills are more useful, but there's a big advantage to some of them. Forest gives stronger artillery, and mountains gives better cavalry. So if you put a mountain skill on a cavalry, he'll become a beast, and if you put forest on artillery, he'll become a beast. Just keep that in mind when you're selecting your generals. Plains is good everywhere, so plains a bit all around a bit. Specifically, mountains and forests can be so strong. At rank 2, we have the classical precision strike. Is this for cavalry? For infantry, it's called assault. For artillery, it's called salvo, and for navy, it's called line of battle. It just does additional damage when using the unit your general is actually made to use. So, for example, for Sheridan, he is anyway a cavalry general, so having a cavalry, a precision strike on it gives just increased damage. Such a good skill to have. If you level it up to max, it's always reliable, it always does its work. Such a good skill, rank number 2. And you, boys and girls, already follow my channel for a bit. You just know that the Juljas loves himself the commander skill. Infantry commander, cavalry commander, navy, or artillery is just the best skill in my opinion. You increase attack in nearby grids. And I like stacking up attack. If you really stack up attack, you can make a unit wiper. So for example, here on Gulwitz, infantry commander can be so useful. It can't stack anymore, so it was a little bit nerfed since it used to be able to stack, but still I think it's a very solid skill. Now you just, instead of having all commander skills in one place, you just spread them over the map and you buff all the similar units. For example, infantry is especially useful since you often buy cheap infantry. So yeah, tell me if you agree with my list. Am I right? Am I wrong? Where do you see corrections? Am I maybe too harsh on some defensive skills? Am I too optimistic on offensive? Just give me your opinion. Thank you for watching. Have a nice and bye.